Welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today I am going to create this Maleficent makeup for you guys. So this one has been created using Sculpt Gel by Mold Life, a bit of alcohol activated makeup by Encore, and some products by Ben Nye and Maron. So if you want to know how you can create a makeup just like this one, please keep watching because I will show you step by step in the coming video. When I decided on doing a Maleficent makeup for my Halloween videos this year, I kind of decided on doing the green one from the very old Disney movies because I think she looks very cool and I thought that would be a cool makeup to do, all green and purple eyes. But my boyfriend kind of convinced me to do the Angelina Jolie version of Maleficent, and I must admit I think that is kind of intimidating because we are talking about Angelina Jolie as Maleficent, a beautiful woman with a gorgeous makeup, but well, I agreed, so here we go with Maleficent. To start out, I'm gonna change my cheekbones because of course she has that very pointy cheekbones, and that is why I have mixed up some Sculpt Gel. So there is a very elaborate video on how to work with Sculpt Gel in my YouTube channel. I will link it in the description box down below. For now, I'm just gonna work with it, and I have the clear Sculpt Gel now. There is also a flesh toned one which is easier to work with when you are just starting out using Sculpt Gel. So here we go. I will just put a bit of Sculpt Gel on my cheekbone, and with a bit of alcohol on my spatula I'm gonna work it out toward my hair. So you don't have to get it all right at once. You can layer when you are working with Sculpt Gel. So I don't know how this is with you guys, but I have one side of my face which I find easier to make up than the other one. So I'm starting at the hardest side today, so it will be easier for me to match what I did on the side that is more difficult. Now I think that is enough for the first layer, so I'm gonna even out those edges so they won't be that visible once I start putting makeup on there in a bit. I know it's transparent for now, but if I don't smooth out that edges, you will definitely see them. And if you are working with alcohol near your eyes, make sure you close them because you don't want to get any alcohol in your eyes, and the fumes of the alcohol can irritate them. The first layer has almost set, so I have a bit of the neutral set powder by Ben Nye and a nice fluffy brush by Titanic Effects, and with that I'm gonna powder the Sculpt Gel. So first of all, it's easier to work over the Sculpt Gel once you have powdered it, and if you haven't blended any edges as you should have, powdering your Sculpt Gel makes them visible so you can do something about the edges. So as you can see, I've got a few stripes here I shouldn't have, and I've got a strange little bump up here. I actually don't know if the camera shows this, but that are places I do definitely need to work on, and these things are easier to see when you work with the skin toned Sculpt Gel. So now the powder is on there, it is time for the second layer of Sculpt Gel. And for this layer I got my compact mirror so I can see a bit better. I normally wear glasses, so it's easier for me with a mirror. And I will just add Sculpt Gel and smooth it out again. Back to the fluffy brush and the setting powder, and I have decided while letting this dry that this actually is enough Sculpt Gel for my Maleficent. So putting powder on it, I think I just said this, but it makes it easier to get the paint over the Sculpt Gel. To make my skin a bit paler, because she has a very pale skin, I have the Skin Cover Up palette by Encore. This is an alcohol activated makeup palette, and I'm going to use the last bits of the light skin tones to get my face a bit more even, a little bit less red and just paler. And I will activate this with alcohol obviously, and I'm going to use the large stipple brush by Titanic FX to put that base color on my skin. So you can just stipple it on, and if you use alcohol activated makeup, it will really stay on your skin. Doesn't matter how much you sweat or where you are going, it will just stay there. You can work very translucent with this. You can also make it very opaque, depending on how much alcohol you put to the makeup and how many layers you will put on there. As my sculpt gel is kind of white, I do need to get enough on there to cover it, but that will be okay. That is a highlighted area of the Maleficent makeup anyway, but I do need to get that skin tone on there. Switching to the FX palette by Dashbow, there is white in this palette, and I'm gonna splatter a bit of that on my nose, my forehead and the cheekbones to give it a bit of highlight. So I don't want to get too white, but I do want a bit of highlight. Time for some shadows, which I want to make kind of subtle, but I definitely do need them to be there. And I am also putting these in with a darker skin tone, which is in the Skin Cover Up palette, the Encore palette that is. And you don't really see her temples, but I guess they would be shadowed as well. And she has a very pronounced jawline, something I don't possess, so I'm gonna harden mine using the alcohol activated makeup. So I'm just shadowing the skin under my jawbone. Time to continue to the eye makeup, which is brown. So I have the Cool Glam palette by Ben Nye, which has some lovely brown shades in there. And with that, I will apply the eyeshadow, and I'm using the Titanic FX beauty brushes to apply it with. So I'm just gonna put a bit of the brown under my eye. I don't know if she has it, but I do really want to make my waterline black. And I need some mascara, so I know that she is wearing false lashes, or at least it looks like she is wearing false lashes in the movie. I don't have any, so I won't put any on. If you do have them, you should definitely wear them. So back to that shadow on the nose. It is just a tad too light, so I will put a bit more on there with a darker brown color, which is also in the Cool Glam palette, and using a bit of that same darker brown to put some shadows around my new cheekbones. So working over sculpt gel, alcohol activated makeup with powders does work kind of differently from working with them directly on the skin. So try it out before you are doing your final makeup. But once you get the hang of it, it is kind of cool to put shadows over there. I have a little bit of dark brown water-based face paint. This one is by Ben Nye, and I will use it to give my eyebrows a bit of color. So I didn't hide mine, that is why I'm going to use them as the eyebrows for my makeup. If you want to get new ones, you should block them with a bit of spirit gum or with a bit of Pros-Aid, and you can just draw new ones on. I didn't, so I'm going to use the shape of my own eyebrows. I'm just putting in all little lines to make them look kind of realistic. So hers are way softer than the ones I am drawing on now. But nevertheless, I do like my new eyebrows. Very fitting for an evil character. As the lips need to be really red, I have the Night palette by Maron. So this is a lipstick palette and there are quite a few shades of red in there. I'm going to choose the darkest red as my lipstick. Okay, so the cheekbones are done, the skin tone is done, the eye makeup is sort of done, the lips are done, the shadows are there. But before I know if they are heavy enough, I do need to get that headpiece on and the dress so I can see myself with the complete costume and then decide if I do need to darken up on those shadows. Now I have the headpiece on. I feel like I could use just a bit more of those shadows because obviously my face is just way wider than Angelina's. I think with a few shadows we can fix part of that problem. And now I think it's time to zoom out so you can see a bit more of the headpiece and of the dress. And there it is, or there it almost is, because the horns are still higher than my screen. But that completes my Maleficent makeup tutorial. So I'm kind of happy that I got convinced to doing the Angelina Jolie version of Maleficent. I had fun creating this makeup. So I hope you enjoyed the video as well. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel in the link below to stay tuned on all our videos. We have loads of videos planned until Halloween, so definitely stay tuned.